All right. Hello, Onyx, Pyrostar, and Marvin. I don't think I've ever actually had people in the chat before I start, but that's cool. So, the pre-stream went a little long because I had this brilliant idea to do the side quests and then start. Thing is that this side quest I'm in right now is an escort mission, and the Zora will not follow you if there is even one enemy. So it ended up going really long, and I just decided to start. So I've done some other menial side quests today, just like the character training and basic stuff like that. But I did opt to leave the Unobo and Teba ones because we didn't get to see how they work. And I have used them now, and I know their gimmicks. Yeah, all of them are really neat. I also understand Riju's a lot better now because it turns out, should have paid a bit more attention. Her charge move happens when you hold down the button. It makes Patricia go nuts and zoom all over the battlefield. But yeah, this is a mandatory side-on mission, and he is great, but it also means I'm locked with a kind of, well, not even a low level. He's about the level I'm supposed to be for this mission. It's just, I do find that games like this, the recommended level starts to be a little bit too low, and you start doing a little bit too low of damage. Like a weak spot attack on the Lionel I died to just before I started the stream, it did like maybe an eighth of its health. Yeah, see, he focuses on any single enemy, and he's not very strong either, so he won't beat them. It's a really not good design choice. Like, I get them focusing on a big enemy, a boss or something, but every minor enemy is kind of a bit much for this kind of AI. Especially because, yeah, look how many enemies there are right here. If one of them doesn't get KO'd, then they become an obstacle. It's not great. Also, my instincts from Heavy Sword Link have really wrecked my ability to play Sidon because I keep pressing this button to do his heavy attacks, but I have to do a heavy attack and then do it. So, yeah. Lionels remain absolutely the toughest enemies to fight. They are very quick and very strong. So yeah, Sidon is absolutely the most precise character you have to work with. Like, his bomb move with the golf, if you miss it, he kicks it, and that's neat. If you miss with his bomb golf, you just miss. Like, you don't get any bombs. Everyone else has an explosion that's going to trigger. There's optimal ways to use their attacks, but Sidons can just outright fail. Yeah, no, Sidon takes effort because he's a Giga Chad. That makes sense. Yeah, so I missed one of the bombs there. It's not easy to miss, honestly. Like, it's not super intense. That'd be too much for this kind of game. But definitely, like, the most... I don't want to say the most demanding character, because they've all got their little things, and, like, I haven't even gotten a single max act with Urbosa. But... like, overall, he's got, like, the most points of failure. Hello, Neem Cycle. Yes, exactly. I haven't proved myself worthy of Sidon's power, so I can only use a fraction of it, which is still stronger than every other character in the game. But, if I could master him, then I would be unbeatable. A problem with how slow Sidon's moves also is that it's really easy to get hit by a really blatant attack because the move goes on so long. No, no, duh. So something cool I wish that was on camera actually. I did manage to do a perfect dodge in midair against that explosion attack. So that was pretty raw. Oh, so Yunobo's gimmick. I mean, no, actually, I'll get to Yunobo and Teba when I get to them. Because I'm going to do their side missions. I left them intentionally incomplete. Yeah, but Yunobo's actually pretty neat. An interesting concept. It's probably the smartest thing they could have done with that type of character, too. I'll get to that later, like pretty soon. I should just have to beat this, I'm not sure, though. Hello, Celestial Cage, by the way. Hello, how's it going? Yeah, no, not a big deal at all if you missed streams. And actually, if you check on the, I think it should be underneath the stream, I've got a YouTube channel where I am uploading all of the VODs in smaller segments. That's something I personally always wanted to do if I ever did stream, even back before it was even a possibility. Because I'd personally hate it when someone uploads like a 12-hour stream and then I can't watch all of it and I have to find where I was and that kind of thing. So, Marvin, Link is a Chaos Twink and Sidon is a Giga Chad, but Sidon is also Ultra Himbo. That's the power rankings we're going with so far. Neem Cycle says it's impossible for a mortal to use 2% of Sidon's power. Well, I imagine by the end of the game you'll be able to use 3%. Oh yeah, so your fun fact for today about the music of this game. When it changes over to a new song on the hub once the Age of Calamity begins. And if you listen to certain parts of it, it has a little bit of the Hyrule Castle theme from Breath of the Wild. Right, so Teba. Maybe I should level him up a little bit, actually. I want to do a little bit more damage, it's not ideal. Yeah, I got plenty of money anyways. Onyx, you zoned out playing Genshin? No, I didn't say what Yunobo's gimmick is. I'm going to show it when I get to his mission here. But yeah, so Teba's gimmick. I compared it on Twitter to the Blue Rose, which is Nero's gun in Devil May Cry 4 and 5, where basically you can hold down the ZR trigger and it charges up his bow, and you can do this while doing other attacks. And then once it charges up a lot, you get a giant wave of bomb arrows. So it's pretty cool. The only thing, and his other gimmick is that you can mash the heavy attack button during his heavy attacks to do a rapid fire of arrows. Problem with that I found is it's very, very weak. So I'm not exactly sure how to use him perfectly yet. Yeah, so this aura here shows you how strong the arrow... But yeah, see how it charges up quite a bit. That's 4 charges to get to the max. And then he has this big thing, but then he does this. And it's raw. Yeah, see, you can keep charging it even as you attack. He actually has some really practical uh, rune moves too. His ice one just makes it like a barrier that stays around him. And his stasis lasts a crazy long time, actually. Which I imagine is for this. This is why you want it to last a long time. Unfortunately, the camera still isn't perfect. Yeah, so the only things that cancel his charge is getting hit or using a special move. Daruk is clearly the strongest himbo? It's possible. I feel like Sidon has more himbo energy, though. So yeah, Teba is pretty straightforward, honestly. Like the other characters have wilder gimmicks, I think. Oh, I just noticed you can actually release his heavy arrows, the bomb arrows, during his the end of his heavy attacks. So that's neat. Oh, and actually, his arrows going high, that'd make it really easy to hit the weak spot. Yeah, a lot of his moves involve aiming, so he'd be pretty easy to get to hit a weak spot, I find. Like, some characters have kind of tricky to use ones. Anyways, I should be using the obvious weak spot right now. So no, he doesn't rapid fire bomb arrows if you have them loaded. It's a separate attack entirely. Oh yeah, so a tooltip that's pretty obvious in retrospect that I got during one of my side quests is that you can use stasis whenever a weak point gauge is open like this to then get the weak point gauge open longer, which makes sense. Like, I'm way too conservative with how often I use runes, honestly, because they've got a lot of practical application. Like, I found out every character has a unique magnesis move, and I never knew that because I'd only use it to counter. Like, if an enemy throws their weapon at me, and the thing is, when they throw it at you, you do a generic counter that just sends it back at them, but every character does something unique. Like, obviously, Urbosa and Riju use electric stuff. I feel like Teba's going to be a hard frame rate killer though in this case, because those bomb arrows are not pretty. Hello, Kentrix. Yeah, no, I'm super impressed by the level of detail and, like, honestly, just the overall quality of the characters' movesets. Like, there's so much to them, and yet it's also like, yeah, there's a lot of characters. Like, it's a Warriors game. It's Muso. They're gonna have secret characters, so there's still more stuff to find besides these time hopping champions. Oh yeah, so Teba's special move in particular has a habit of not going into the cinematic camera mode because it flies all over the place, but if it actually happens, he does like a little thumbs up at the camera. I'm saying that because I'm not sure if it's going to actually show up at any point while I'm playing. Oh yeah, also, the bomb arrow wave absolutely annihilates weak spot gauges. God, the frame rate is falling apart. Oh yeah, so if you don't actually, like, there's 4 charges to the arrows, so if you just do this with one, couple, and then, yeah, so it's just, the regular ones, it's only, you only get bomb arrows if you charge all the way to 4. Otherwise, it's not. It's just like heavy arrows, basically. But, since you can use them in the middle of combos, it does seem like it's pretty practical no matter what. If Yozora appears in Neo The World Ends With You, you hope he says this world has been connected? That's not Yozora's thing, that's Xehanort's thing. Besides, what would he say? Tied to the fantasy? Oh no. See? This is what happens when I'm not conservative with my stuff. Yeah, see, I'm almost out of food too, jeez. Not ideal. Ugh. Yeah, I'm over leveled. Well, not over leveled, but higher than I'm supposed to be, and it's still not doing much damage. But also, this is just a chaotic fight. Ah. Time for T-bombs. Okay, what have I got? Nothing? Okay. He's not as bad as Revali in terms of like flying all over the place and being impossible to keep track of, but Teba does still zoom. He definitely goes new. The language? You mean the stuff that's floating around the Lionel? That might actually be the language that you can see in Breath of the Wild 2's trailer. There's some like words that are floating out of what people assume is Ganondorf's body. So it could be something like that. The enemies have long windups because I'm pretty sure these animations are just flat out reused from Breath of the Wild or maybe tweaked. Ah man, I really can't keep track of what's going on. And the warning on the Cryonis attack here is really strict. Yeah, so see, there's a bit of a delay where his attacks will come down again to do extra damage. But I think that gets cancelled if you get hit. Yeah, look at that. I was in slow motion, I still couldn't react to it. Okay. God. It's so aggressive. Now, I need a whole nother one of those just to take off the rest of its health, so... God, this is really hard on my eyes. Whew. Yeah, these explosions are not helping. It looks like he's going in fast motion. Yeah, I could totally see that, actually. I think it's the low frame rate combined with the erratic movements really making it hard to track. Especially because Teba, like, you really need to cancel out of his moves, like his arrows, otherwise he's going to stick around for a long time. I'm not sure if regular attacks have elements, but they should, because I know that Zelda's moves qualify as the actual runes. So, like, if an enemy is weak to stasis and she uses a stasis move, then it'll work and it'll like break their attack, even though it's still not technically a slate move. So yeah, like the bomb arrows, but the thing is that I believe bomb arrows count as a separate thing, and there are fire arrows. So if anything, the bomb arrows should be non-elemental. They're just also, they take a long time to charge up, and they're the strongest arrows. Oh yeah, good. Wait, why are they thanking Rivali? This is literally a Teba mission. Alright, with that done, Yunobo's gimmick. So what he does is his trigger move is he'll eat prime rock roast. And then what that does is it'll power up one of his attacks. It'll give him a different colored shield. And each color reflects a different type of attack. And then that'll power up that attack immensely one time. Oh no, it unlocked a new mission? I'm gonna have to ignore that. Oh, it's a mandatory Link mission? They made a mistake there. He's fighting Sidon, Mipha, and Revali for some reason. Yeah, so Teba's bomb arrows might be fire or they might be bomb, because bomb is considered its own thing in Zelda. Um, so yeah, not totally sure on that. Yeah, it is a strange gimmick, Onyx, but I think the point is his moves otherwise are really bad. Like they have bad range and mid attack power. So like I said, it makes perfect sense for the type of character. Like I'll just show you right now. So this should be, yeah, this is just his regular move. And it does that. But normally it does this. So yeah, like that's his regular heavy attack. And this charges up the secondary ones, which is spins and stuff. So it's very straightforward, but not bad at all. It's just that it's randomized, so you do have to like hope you get the one you want. Well, you can just eat it. You're not locked in or anything. You get to just eat again to get a different one. So that's a thing. But yeah, his powered up attacks are really, really good. Like they're just super fast and super strong. And they're so big they hit the Hinox's eye right away. He's Hero from Smash? Maybe. Yeah, knocked him right over with attack. Like, look how like insanely strong it is. Look at that. Like this is supposed to be a big enemy that doesn't flinch, but it's like nope, weak spots. It's even, look at that, like, he's nowhere near as strong as Link. He's still chipping off damage like it's nothing. You're not going to like this. Actually, speaking of Dragon Quest and Pyrostar mentioned Psych Up, that actually reminded me, because I've been thinking about how I've gravitated towards the great swords with Link, and like that's just what I've been using as my go-to this entire game basically, and that's always been a style that has spoke to me on some level because like the only Dragon Quest I've really played is 9, which is the DS one where it's all about making your own custom character, and so the build I ended up having was this insane build where I would power up one character with a bunch of stuff that would make it so that you get stronger at the cost of more and more damage to yourself. And so what ended up being my strategy was I'd have 3 other characters dedicated to buffing up this one character, and then he'd use a move that does damage to himself, but also like even more damage to the enemy. So my boss strategy was to just kill this character in order to just nuke the boss in one shot. And that's very much the energy that I have with Link's heavy sword too. Where it's just, yeah, I could lose all my health because I'm constantly damaging myself, but look how strong I am. Look at how big my number goes. Oh, you love 9? You didn't know you played Dragon Quest, Onyx. Yeah, I really liked 9, and then I didn't play it for a while, and then I plugged it in and it didn't work anymore. Now, yeah, I still have the cartridge, but it's just no good. It's tragic. So honestly, kinda the new champions are just better. Like they have weirder gimmicks, but they're also just kind of like stronger. The other characters, I guess, because they're introduced right away, have to be a bit more basic. So so these characters just have way wilder gimmicks going on that are a lot more fun, I think. Like, this is way better than Daruk's rolling move, though Daruk can charge his. Like, it's not like they're invalid or anything, I just like these more because they're a bit more... They're more straightforward, yet more complicated at the same time, if that makes sense. Yeah, he can make, like, bosses flinch like it's nothing. Just because his attacks are so big and so strong. I guess his only other thing is that he has to constantly stop to eat. So it's a pretty big, like, pace breaker. And you do have to use his weak attacks to get to the really good strong stuff. It's so big, it just always hits the weak spot. I love that. So I don't know if this protects you too, because the actual game calls it protection. So maybe it reduces damage too, because it only lasts for one attack. So it makes sense if it's like, yeah, you can get one strong attack or you get to absorb damage. You pick. Oh, that's neat. So yeah, you can make a line of remote bombs with him, and then that makes it so that, yeah, then he rolls along them as like a, well, yeah, there's nothing to it. It's just a straight line. God, the damage is off the charts. I hope you call this tech meat canceling. I mean, it could. That's possible. God. Yeah, like these enemies are really ramping up. A bit much, maybe. Oh yeah, he's got a really big ice, so there's that going for him. Like it makes it really easy to hit. But Teba's is still a bit easier in that regard because it just sticks around him. I need more power. Like, this is what I mean though, like, I'm higher level than what it says I need to be, but it's still kicking my ass, because it's just, like, it's not, it doesn't take into account fun, I don't think, is the problem. Like, there's a very complicated science to the right ratio of damage to be dealing with an enemy, because you can't deal too much, because then you don't have to engage with the fight. But if it reaches a point where it can be like just kind of going through the numbers or going through the motions, or just like doing the exact same cycle like 10 times in a fight. Yeah, weapons are a factor too, and I don't have very many for these characters yet. Best thing is that you have to do missions with them to get them, so like, I don't know, there's no real solution here because it's such a grind-heavy game concept. Yeah. Man, that's like 5 hearts. Maybe I should be abusing stasis more, actually. I'm out of here. It is fun how you can just hard counter rushes and stuff like that. Well, I mean, no, the shields might boost defense, and they just might do like 10 hearts otherwise. Like, it's hard to compare because every character has distinct stats. Because they're all different levels, they all have different gear. Yeah, no, at a theoretical level, I do love how you can just smash right through basically everything. It's just, enemies are a bit too strong and have a bit too much health. Wrong one. Oh well, it'll counter. There we go. That was kind of a weak finisher. I've noticed, because there are multiple finishers, and some of them are kind of lame, like Monk Mazkoshia. He just does a thing where he gets big, and he looks like he can charge up for a big attack, but then he just stomps, and there's like a vague earth shake effect, and then it just does tons of damage. So yeah, like, some of them are just kind of meh, unfortunately. Anyways, I'm just satisfied that I got to show off some characters, so now it's time to do some upgrades and get into Chapter 6 finally. Because, yeah, endgame time. So now, what can I get and what should I get? Oh, I do want this one. Extra 3 weapon capacity, but alas.
I'm stronger than before.
Actually, I think that Yunobo is more fun than Daruk. Daruk's kind of just a very vanilla heavy hitter charge character. He's a cooler character as a person, but yeah, I think I like the just simple use the one big heavy move that you get with Yunobo.
I won't stop there.
Yeah, I figured you meant as a character. And yes, Yunobo has a homing attack. But that's just because everything is Sonic at the end of the day.
It's overflowing.
Looking pretty good, huh? I have further to soar.
This will do.
I'm still trying to imagine what this map is going to look like with everything on it. Which actually reminds me of another thing. I have my official hope for how this story goes, and that's that I want a video to play that is dubious food. Oh, that's cool. Get more money, but just everything sucks. What I want is a video to play of just a picture of like the timeline from Hyrule Historia splitting, and that's the game's ending.
Am I stronger than before?
Yeah, Sidon's gimmick is boundless optimism, and his character type is called Winning Smile. It's great. Sidon is the best character in this franchise, honestly.
I can't be stopped. You're rather good at this.
Okay, we're starting to get into somewhat decent food abilities, I think. I wonder if it's possible to just crash the game with a combination of speed increases and then Teba's bomb arrows. That might be a thing. They knew exactly what they're doing, you're right. Sidon... whoever worked on this game, who worked on developing Sidon's thing, they were a big fan, or there was a request from Nintendo that said, you better not screw this up. You'd better get this perfect. And they did. So it all worked out. Alright, that seems to be everything for now. Story time. Oh, it's the first 4-person party. It'd make a lot of sense to use the 4 new champions. But I really need Link to make sure this goes smoothly.
Let's rock.
So who do I leave out?
Now see what a Hyrule Warrior can do.
When push comes to
Oh,
shove,
wait.
I can do it. It's all
Oh,
on you.
but you're stuck with Daruk. And you can't use Sidon. Alright, so... Okay, I guess never mind. God, that is some awful food. Oh yeah, don't get mentioned. I have 2 slots for cooking now, so I can have more abilities. So that's a thing. But like I said, I'm scared to cook. Don't want to waste resources. Yeah, I couldn't use Sidon. Alright, so if they're attacking the castle, the town must already be just wrecked. Look at that playable character just standing there waiting to be unlocked.
Slim to none, and it's likely the same for all of Hyrule.
It's not the same for all of Hyrule, it's literally just this castle. Everywhere else is more or less fine.
Is to never give up.
Personally,
Chances are higher than you think.
Report. A divine beast from the Western Waters.
See that? What did I tell you?
The designs are so strong, like, you can't convince me these aren't playable characters.
From beyond time, the fated party fought with all of their strength to fend off the unending waves of guardians and monsters. Despite their efforts, Hyrule remained embroiled in a grueling battle. The soldiers stationed within Hyrule Castle fled, seeking refuge in the east, in the impenetrable walls of Oculus Citadel. As guardians swarmed the perimeter, they held out hope and waited for help to arrive. Link and the others hurriedly made their way to the Citadel. Meanwhile, having reclaimed Varuta, Mipha and Sidon faced the enemy directly, forging ahead to the tower.